Guys, if you're new to Deception Bytes, hit the like and subscribe button and be sure to hit the bell to be notified of future videos. If you wish to support the channel, the links are in the description below. Now, fasten your seatbelt. Here we go. Okay guys, boy has this been a day in terms of the deep state, in terms of, the testimony, Mueller's testimony, just everything. It has been a very interesting day, but it's been a good day for Trump and those that support him, like us. So what we're going to be doing in this video is there are Q posts for today, and I did just check, so I am up to the minute on those, and we're going to go over those tonight in the first video. And I'm not sure if I will have energy left to do the second video or not. I had guests tonight for supper, and that is why I'm getting a later start than I would normally get. But tomorrow I should be back on schedule and posting earlier. So, and I will have more time tomorrow, so I will probably do definitely more than one video. All right, now let's go over to the Q posts here and start with them. I don't know if you caught any of the Mueller testimony today, but it was a disaster. It was a disaster for the Democrats and for Mueller. I was actually felt a little embarrassed for him. Really did not go well. Not for him, not for the Democrats. It was very obvious, and he at times did not even seem to be aware of what he wrote in his own report, probably because he didn't actually write it. And it just, he contradicted himself. Well, hopefully I'm going to get a few of those snippets for you if you happen to miss all the action. I think I'm going to, sorry, the cat just jumped onto the table where the microphone is. Hopefully that wasn't too loud in your ears, but hopefully I'm going to get some little clips for you to highlight that in the Q related news, because I think if you missed it, you need to see some of the little snippets from it, because let me tell you, it was pretty awesome. I was like, yeah, during the whole thing, because I just couldn't believe how horribly it was going for the Democrats. They were actually they were actually proving that, the opposite of what they were intending to prove. So, yeah, very interesting. And the first Q post for today is 2019, Year of the Boomerang. Q. Now, I assume he is talking about all of this coming back on them, because that is what a boomerang does. You throw it out and it comes right back at you. And so I think that is exactly what is going to happen to the Democrats, to all of these people that tried to basically frame Trump, is what they were doing. They were just absolutely making stuff up as they went and making new rules too while they were at it. And so, yeah, it's going to come back at them in a big way, So I don't know if you've ever thrown a boomerang. I would assume most people have at one point in their life, but it's awfully fun, but it does come right back at you. So that's exactly what Q is talking about here. I believe this is going to be the year of the boomerang, and boy, is it going to be, they're going to put the boom in boomerang. Really, because it is coming back, and I could see it plain as day during the testimony today. I was like, oh my gosh, this is apocalyptic in nature. The amount of damage that Mueller is doing to himself and the other Democrats and those on the special counsel that, helped with this, he wasn't good. So I don't know if you caught that, but if you can, there's a lot of stuff out there on YouTube with little clippets. You might want to go and watch some of those, because you're going to be, well, for lack of a better word, gobsmacked. So let's move on from there. I think that is pretty self-explanatory, that one. And here we come to the next one. And it says, there are puppets, there are puppet masters. Which is Mueller? Attempt to replace James Comey as FBI director failed. Attempt to regain FBI control. That's what he was trying to do. Plot and plan backup to initiate special counsel to safeguard against criminal prosecution regarding illegal and criminal actions. That's what the whole special counsel was all about. It was about their little insurance policy to bring criminal prosecution against Trump and protect them from discovery of their criminal actions. That's exactly what it was all about. It was an attempt to get a duly elected president out of his office by means of basically made up facts. It was a made up dossier. There was absolutely no evidence of any collusion whatsoever. No evidence of any kind of obstruction. In fact, they asked them, did Trump try to obstruct you in any way? No. Well, then he didn't obstruct the investigation at all. He could have fired Mueller, but he didn't. Anyway, the special counsel equals a blockade. Yeah, because anything Trump would do could, they would say, well, this is him trying to, obstruct. So it really put the screws into Trump and kind of, kept him in check. Imagine what he would have accomplished had he not had all this. If this didn't exist, this whole witch hunt, and if the Democrats actually thought, you know what, we're going to try and work with him the best we can, imagine what could have been accomplished. Imagine if we had those millions and millions of dollars, taxpayer dollars that was spent on this investigation. What if we had put that into the border, a border wall? Imagine where we'd be now. We wouldn't be where we are, that's for sure. The special counsel equals a loss of FBI command, control, safeguard. The DOJ depends on what agency for investigating criminal actions? The FBI. Mueller, Uranium One. Mueller, Epstein, Barry, and cover-up. Mueller, plot to remove a duly elected POTUS. Biggest scandal in American history. Treason. 2019, year of the boomerang. Q. Now I want to read this because I thought this person always does a very good job, I think, and it is Dio Presso Liber, a great person to follow on Twitter. I know I've said that in the past, but for those of you that may not have heard it, I would suggest this person. They are very knowledgeable and very good at this. Anyway, says, wonder why Mueller looks like he's near death. QAnon new post just explains why. He faces charges for treason involving not only Uranium One, but also covering up Epstein trafficking crimes and for being a part of the attempted coup to remove POTUS. Yes, he may be working with POTUS team now, but he's on a very short leash. He was a cabal puppet installed by the puppet masters in an effort to become the FBI director under POTUS. And remember, he went to POTUS and he wanted to be given the director of the FBI position, and POTUS said no. So anyway, he wanted to become the FBI director under POTUS. POTUS, aware of what was going on and being advised by General Flynn and the military, knew better than to take the bait. Cabal thought they would maintain control of FBI if POTUS installed Mueller as director and maintain cover for their crimes. When that didn't work, the insurance plan was to have Mueller serve as special counsel to get at POTUS that way. POTUS turned their plan around. Boomerang. DOJ depends on the FBI to conduct investigation, and if the FBI top brass is corrupt, then the system stalls. Naturally. All of this to cover up their treason and horrific crimes against children and humanity. Very, very well written, succinctly put, and I just thought, why reinvent the wheel? This is a very good synopsis of what this post is. So let's go. Sorry, the cat again. Sorry, that's Xander, and Xander has been sleeping and just woke up a little bit ago because my guests played with him, and I think they broke him, but apparently not, because he's back to normal now, and up to his tricks. All right, now let's get, where did I go here? Where did I go? We are going up to the next post. And it looks like a pretty small and innocuous post, but boy, is there a lot behind this. All right, Q links to Wikipedia or Wiktionary, Wiktionary. I don't know how it's pronounced. I think it's Wiktionary, and that's it. He just links to that and then says Q. So let's just take a look at this. And first, we're going to see it is the definition of force of nature. Now, why did Q link to that? Well, is it because perhaps Donald Trump tweeted this? And around the same time, to tell you the truth, because that was at 3:15, no, it's 4:15, well, 4:14 actually. Q posted this, but at 3:33, Donald Trump posted or tweeted, "Truth is a force of nature." And then Q, a little bit later, I guess 45 minutes later, posts a link to the Wikipedia page. Now, why did he do that? Is it because we don't know what force of nature means? I don't think so. Let's take a look at this. This is, if we were to go out there right now, this is what it looks like, that page that he linked to. Force of nature, a noun, plural, forces of nature. 1, a mighty natural force which is beyond human control, notably if potentially catastrophic, such as elements, i.e., storms and extreme temperatures. Storms. A mighty natural force which is beyond human control. Storms. Myths and religions often ascribe natural forces to supernatural beings, as acts of a god or heroes shaking the earth, raising a storm or flood. 2, figuratively, a thing or person that exhibits qualities which appear to be beyond outside control. 3, particle physics, a fundamental force. Now, this has been added. 4, deep state, a storm is upon us. Let's go out and see if it's been edited away yet. Hang on here. It's all very interesting, this little post. All very, very interesting. Hang on one second here. Yeah, that has been removed now. This is how it appears now. Just a mighty natural force, a thing or person that exhibits qualities which appear to be beyond outside control, particle physics, a fundamental force, and the same things that we read earlier appear to be there. Now, okay, so that's not there anymore. Well, let's look how it looked earlier. Okay, that's how it looks now. There's nothing about this deep state there, but let's look at it before it was really edited, at what happened after Trump tweeted a force of nature. Well, someone edited it and put 4, deep state, the storm is upon us. 6, Hillary Rodham Clinton. Lock her up. 7. D5. 8. Game over. Mr. President, is Q real? 1. Where we go one, we go all. Where we go one, we go all. They don't think it be like it is, but it do. Okay, somebody, whoever wrote that, not real great on grammar, but it's interesting because, these pages, anybody can go in and edit them. Well, I guess there has been quite the back and forth with anons going in and editing all this stuff about the storm in there, and then whoever editing it back to remove all that stuff. And then anons come and edit it, and then they come back and they take it all out. So it's a back and forth there. And I think it's interesting because Q said it, then, POTUS said it, then Q linked to it. And I'm wondering if that is why he linked to it. Not only is it a great definition, because up here it can be a force of nature, a mighty natural force beyond human control, like a storm. And then, that's a great definition of force of nature. Truth is a force of nature. So truth is what actually sets in motion the storm. And you've got all these anons going in there and editing and adding all this stuff. And I think it's kind of amusing personally, but I'm not sure if Q just highlighted that because of that number 1, that great definition, or if Q was drawing our attention to this back and forth between the anons and so forth, because I'm not sure of the timing here. Maybe someone else is, but I am not. So I just think it's interesting. And we're going to go on now, because I think we all know that truth is a force of nature and truth will unleash the storm. You know that. I know that too. So there you go. We're going to go up to the next one. No, sorry. Works like a charm. I don't even have to do it now. Just show it to them and they run. They were trying to scratch my chairs to my dining table, and they are already scratched. They're like made of material. They're like a Parson chair with material, and they're all scratched up. I'm gonna have to buy covers for them because it's absolutely embarrassing. But it's what happens when you have cats, young cats that aren't trained yet. All right, enough of my cats. Let's go on. Now, the next one is making reference to this older post by Q. So Q is drawing our attention to an older post of his, and making sure. I just can't afford any more wires, and I am getting some tubing to feed them into tomorrow. So anyway, let's look at this because there's no hope of us reading it when it's that small. And this is from March 12th, 2019. So not that many months ago. And what does it say? And Q doesn't, the odd thing is, Q doesn't even sign this or anything. He just draws our attention to it and that's it. It's odd because he usually puts Q beneath, but he doesn't here. And this post says the following: decide for yourself, be free from outside opinion. Decide for yourself, be objective in your conclusions. Decide for yourself, be true in your own beliefs. Decide for yourself, be open to following the facts. Decide for yourself, be strong in defending your beliefs. Decide for yourself, be resistant to blindly accepting factless statements. Decide for yourself, be free. Those who attack you, be free from what? Those who attack you, those who mock you, those who cull you, those who control you, those who label you. Do they represent you? Or do they represent themselves in some form? Mental enslavement. The great awakening is freedom of thought, was designed and created not only as a back channel to the public, away from the long-standing mind control of the corrupt and heavily biased media, to endure future events through transparency and regeneration of individual thought, breaking the chains of groupthink, but more importantly, aid in the construction of a vehicle, a ship, that provides the scattered free thinkers with a starter new social networking platform which allows for freedom of thought, expression, and patriotism or national pride, the feeling of love, devotion, and sense of attachment to a homeland and alliance with other citizens who share the same sentiment. When non-dogmatic information becomes free and transparent, it becomes a threat to those who attempt to control the narrative and or the stable. When you are awake, you stand on the outside of the stable, groupthink, the collective, and have free thought. When you are awake, you stand on the outside of the stable, the groupthink, the collective, and have free thought. Free thought is a philosophical viewpoint which holds that positions regarding truth should be formed on the basis of logic, reason, empiricism, rather than authority, tradition, revelation, or dogma. When you are awake, you are able to clearly see. The choice is yours and yours alone. Trust and put faith in yourself. You are not alone and you are not in the minority. Difficult truths will soon see the light of day. Where we go one, we go all. Q. And this is very true. I do believe that the Chans were chosen because they were a back channel to the public. And this was meant to not only be a channel for this information, this free and transparent information, but it also served as a social networking platform where those like-minded individuals could get together and discuss these things and discuss these things and also continue to dig deeper, which is what's happened. And it's worked. It's worked because there's people that are waking up and thinking for themselves, turning off the mainstream media, turning off all of the forced narrative, the narrative they force feed us down our throat daily, and it's hard to get away from it. It takes a conscious decision to turn away from it and say, no, I'm going to think for myself. And that is what all of us have done, or you would not be here right now. And from that social networking platform, there are people like myself and others. There are many like me on YouTube that take this information and try to disseminate it outward to people like yourselves. And, some of you may be familiar with the Chans, but a lot of people are intimidated, or not necessarily intimidated, but it's not the most user-friendly place. And so it gets it out this way. It gets it out to an even broader audience. And I'm sure that you guys take it and probably talk to other people about it or suggest videos or whatever you can do. Talk about it on YouTube, Facebook, wherever. That's an excellent point. And I think it's interesting that he is saying right now, he's bringing us back to this, and he is saying, trust and put faith in yourself. You are not alone. You are not in the minority. And it says, when you are awake, you are able to clearly see. The choice is yours and yours alone. That's not what I was looking for. Okay, it was this. Difficult truths will soon see the light of day. And I believe he is bringing that back to our remembrance, because those of us that watched today, I think we saw the beginning of that difficult truths are starting to see the light of day. And there are people, even with what happened today, that are saying, wait a minute, even CNN, believe it or not, even CNN. So I don't know, but I believe today is the start of something positive. And I definitely think it's the start of difficult truths seeing the light of day. Nobody wants to hear that the FBI, the DOJ were corrupt. Nobody wants to hear that. Of course they don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that there was a plot to take down a sitting president. They don't want that. You know, they want to think that Trump is guilty. They don't mind thinking that. But they don't want to think that he's innocent and they tried to take him down anyway. That's a difficult thing to accept, because if they can do it to Trump, they can do it to anyone. They can do it to the next president and the next president after that. Same thing with this social media. If that is not gotten a hold of, then we are going to lose the ability to elect our president. You know why? Because big tech will decide who they're going to support and who they're not, and they'll censor all other views. So literally, if we don't get a grip on what's happening with the media as a whole and social media, it's not going to go well for us, because they will be deciding our future, not us. And I think that Trump knows that, and I think that he is taking steps to reverse it. Even today, I saw that Facebook was slapped with, I don't know, it was billions of dollars in fines. And I will have that for you in the Q-related news. I will probably wait till tomorrow to bring you that news, but I am planning on doing a couple videos tomorrow, and if need be, if Q posts again, then I'll do 3, whatever it takes. So anyway, let's go up to the next post. And here we are at the last post. And we are going to take a look at this. I feel like I've missed a post, and let me go back just for a moment, because I don't want to miss any of these. I think they're all important. Obviously, they're all important, or I don't think that Q would waste his time if they weren't, but I feel like I've missed one. Maybe not. Maybe not. I do feel like I missed one, though. Before we start into this last one, let me check on the actual board here, because I do not want to miss something if... I think I did miss something here. I did. Hang on here. Just indulge me here for a minute. I think I did miss something, and not sure how that happened, but it did. I should, okay, I missed this one, okay? Because when I saw the last one, it kind of ties in with this one, and I thought, I've missed something somewhere. So, sorry about that. I missed this. And let's go out and take a look at this. And we're going to need to listen to this, so...
A lot of conservatives in particular would say that the rise in Islamophobia is a result not of hate, but of fear, a legitimate fear, they say, of quote-unquote jihadist terrorism, whether it's Fort Hood or San Bernardino or the recent truck attack in New York. What do you say to them?
I would say our country should be more fearful of white men across our country, because they are actually causing most of the deaths within this country. We should be profiling, monitoring, and creating policies to fight the radicalization of white men.
A lot of conservatives in particular would say that...
Now it's just starting over again, but that is pretty unnerving. It says here, QAnon's pastry chef, that's cute, irrefutable evidence that Ilhan, Minnesota representative, is a dangerous racist and bigot. Well, let's go back here, see what Q has to say about it. He says, who are the real racists? Projection does not work when we, the people, are awake. Q. And of course, he's asking about radical Islam, and she turns that right around and says, well, I think we need to start, the white man is dangerous and we need to start profiling them. Yeah, so there you go. That, I don't know, but that infuriates me. It really infuriates me. Now, this is apparently a few years old. From what I understand, I don't know, but from what I understand, that particular interview, someone found it. It's a few years old. So, yeah. And then let's go up to the last one because it kind of ties in. Wow, you would think somebody was killing that cat. It's just meowing like there's no tomorrow. Yowling, I call it. All right, let's look at this. It's got a link to Fox News, and then it says the power of Anon research. The power of Anon research. Q. Let's go. This is a 2018, and it is the same from the same interview. It says, if in resurfaced interview, Ilhan Omar answers questions on jihadist terrorism by saying Americans should be more fearful of white men. How many white men do you know that have chopped off people's heads? I don't know any. I really don't. Maybe there are some, but I don't seem to see them chopping people's heads off very often. We had somebody, well, it wasn't a somebody, it was a, well, you know who they were. And they were on a bus in Toronto, and they just chopped someone's head off right on the bus in front of everyone. That's what's happening in Toronto now. I bet you didn't hear that. You might have if you're in Canada, but I bet you didn't hear that if you're in the States. Because that would never have been reported, would it? Anyway, in a resurfaced interview from 2018, anti-Trump Democrat Ilhan Omar responded to a question about the quote-unquote legitimate fears some people have of jihadist terrorism by saying Americans should be more fearful of white men. Yeah, right. It's not white men that are going in and killing all the Christians and enslaving the children as sex slaves and chopping people's heads off in front of their children. But yeah, we need to be cautious of those white men, boy. They're the real terrorists. Yeah, right. Okay. In the interview, Al Jazeera host Medhi Hassan said some Americans feel justified in fearing Islam not out of hate, but for their own safety. And that is what we're concerned about. It's not about hate. It's not about, the color of their skin or what they believe. It's the fact that they want to kill us. But people don't get that, do they? Out of fear for their own safety, before listing a number of radical Islamic terror attacks, Omar dismissed this suggestion immediately and laid the blame on white males instead, calling for the profiling and monitoring of Caucasian men. I would say our country should be more fearful of white men across our country because they are actually causing most of the deaths within this country, she replied. And so if fear was a driving force of policies to keep America safe, Americans safe inside this country, we should be profiling, monitoring, and creating policies to fight the radicalization of white men. How many radicalized white men do you know? Well, maybe Antifa. And, there's some gangs and stuff, but yeah, I don't know of too many that go around in groups beheading people. Not that I'm aware of. Or just killing Christians because they're Christians. Yeah, so anyway, this isn't the first time Omar has been criticized for making controversial statements with regard to Islam. She has been publicly challenged on quotes about Al-Qaeda and the 9/11 terror attacks, most specifically when she appeared at a Council on American Islamic Relations, CAIR fundraiser earlier this year and described the carnage from September 11th as some people did something. Yeah, that infuriated me too. CAIR was founded after 9/11 because they recognized that some people did something and that all of us were starting to lose access to our civil liberties, she said. Yeah, some people did something. Okay. Omar also recently was involved in a public Twitter spat with President Trump over her attitude towards America, and Trump told reporters Omar should leave the U.S. if she's unhappy with how the country operates. If somebody has a problem with our country, if somebody doesn't want to be in our country, they should leave, he told reporters earlier this month. Trump also addressed the issue at his North Carolina political rally on July 17th and claimed Omar laughed about Americans being afraid of Al-Qaeda. Wow. Omar minimized the September 11th attacks on our homeland, saying some people did something. Trump said some people did something? Yeah, some people did something, all right. She pleaded for compassion for ISIS recruits attempting to join the terrorist organization. She was looking for compassion. Omar laughed that Americans speak of Al-Qaeda in a menacing tone and remarked that you don't say America with this intensity. You say Al-Qaeda makes you proud. Al-Qaeda makes you proud. You don't speak that way about America. And she doesn't. And I don't think that that's racist. If you hear somebody putting down the country and saying, I hate America, or continually putting it down, you would ask yourself, well, why is that person here? I mean, they can go back to their homeland. They could go back, or they could immigrate to another country. They could do all sorts of things. You know, I immigrated to the United States, and when I was there, I always spoke respectfully of the country because I love America. I love Americans. And I love the idea of America, the idea of liberty and freedom. I've always had a great respect for America, but especially, I was immigrating there. I was proud of the country that I was living in. I was proud of America. I was thrilled to be there. And if I was putting down America, I think Americans would have had every right to say, well, okay, if you hate it here, why don't you just go back to Canada? Nobody's holding you here. And I wouldn't have taken objection to that. To tell you the truth, I would have said, well, yeah, I thought about that. But no, I'm not here in Canada because I want to be and I like this country. I'm here because my mother's here and she's elderly. So, yeah, and I will return to America, land that I love. I do. I really love America. And, I honestly think, all people always talk poorly about Americans, and you will find a lot of that here. But I never talked ill of Americans. I love their boldness. I love that they just take the bull by the horns, and they love their country. There's a lot of things to like about Americans. They're generous. They're loving people. Not all, of course not. But the ones I met, and either I was just incredibly lucky, or I think that the majority are good people. Maybe not the majority. Well, I do think the majority are really good people. I think it is the minority that the media listen to and parrot rather. And that's, people think, oh, that's all of America. And the news up here doesn't help. It doesn't help the opinion because they just report the negative stuff. They don't even report the truth. They just report what's being given to them and what they're told to report because they're bought out here. They received billions of dollars from Trudeau, and they don't receive that if they don't toe the party line, if you know what I mean. So there you go. Now, let's go back. And just says the power of Anon research. And I think what he means by that is all these clips are coming to light because the Anons are searching them out. They're searching for information, and they have found a boatload of information about Ilhan Omar and her past. And I've gone through some of those in previous shows. So that is it for tonight. That brings us up to date. And I will check just to be sure, extra sure, that we are up to date. Now, of course, Q has an hour and 10 minutes to post, and if he does, I will catch that up tomorrow for you. But we will just check here. I want to be confident in saying that we are up to date, and no, we're not, because Q just posted a whole bunch more. So, you know what? I think what I will do is, gosh darn it, I wanted to get us up to date. Yeah, this is where we left off. So there are a bunch new posts here. What I'm going to do, just for you, I'm going to come back because I do want us to be as up to date as we possibly can. So I'm going to call this video it and stop here. I will research the rest of these posts and come back for part 2. And because I know it's nice to get the posts on the or get the video on the same day as the posts, and I realize that it keeps us all up to date, and with so much happening, I think it's important to stay up to date. So that is what I'm going to do, but I'm going to end this video and get it uploaded so you'll know that at least you're getting a video tonight, because I know a lot of you start to wonder at this time of night, is she posting or is she not posting? So yeah, that's what we're going to do. So anyway, you guys stay safe, stay well, stay blessed, and keep seeking truth, and come back, because I'm going to be back shortly. Really. Honestly, I am. Okay, unless a cat chews through something, which is highly unlikely at this point. All right. Good night. Talk to you guys later.